Hello, I'm just going to start this video out by saying this has nothing to do topic-wise with the other video that's out. I've decided I'm going to make a little mini-series, if you will, on the second channel here, of just me walking home from school and just talking things that are on my mind. If you can see from the title, calling it Matt Money's 2 cents. So I guess here's episode 2, so, you know, whatever, let's go. Let's give this a spin. And also, there's no script, if it's not obvious enough. I'm just kind of rambling a little bit on camera. Got like 20 days left of school. I walk home. And today's topic, let's talk some music. So, you know, I'm a big person who believes in, for a single composer, or I guess producer, if you want to go with that, who believes you should try to experiment, you know, a lot, preferably. You should always try looking for new synths, new styles, new combinations, new everything. And there's always a sense of frustration I feel when I see people, who don't do that. And it's kind of interesting what the results are of different people who do that. Now, of course, I am very much largely talking within a Clone Hero context here, Clone Hero custom writers. A lot of them, I feel, fall into habits where a lot of their songs might start sounding kind of similar. Now, this is different from having an overarching style. I feel like you can most certainly have an overarching style, but have each song be very different. I think Exile Lord does a pretty good job of this. All of his songs definitely really feel different, but they all have that classic like Exile Lord vibe to them. Like, you're not going to hear Coalescence and think it's a Sydney song. No, it's an Exile song, most certainly. But it's you're not going to hear it and go, oh, is that Epidox? Is it Misadventure? Is it one of the Soulless songs? No, you can tell it's different. But, yeah, I don't know. For something like this, I'm going to have to drop names, whatever. And listen, if one of the people I refer to watches this video, man, I don't know. You can take the criticism. You can tell me to go fuck off or something. This is just what I think. This is my 2 cents, after all. So, beginning with, well, it's funny. A lot of these are somewhat controversial figures. Let's start with Moosie. Why not, right? Because if I just want to dive into the spiciness, where else am I going to start? Let's just remember, I am just trying to talk music here, people. Anyone who's watching this. So, look, dude, I mean, I think you're good at what you do. Like, absolutely. Like, I just happened to see in, like, the CTP server, Ember, this new track. Okay, let me listen to it. It sounds good, but it also just kind of sounds like a lot of your work. It doesn't really stand out in a lot of ways. There's some things, like, there's like a part, like, kind of right after the intro where it's like if the storm just, and it's this like neat mechanical sound almost. But by and large, it's just another Moosie song. So though good, I feel like it doesn't stand out a lot. It reminds me a lot of Graphene Dreams, you know, and just, I don't know. I feel like I could point to stuff from the last, well, most of your stuff from the last 6 months and go, this sounds similar. Not to say every single last song. What, you had a piano song called like Emotions Absent, and that was just piano, so obviously that's different. But, you know, speaking on a large big picture, a lot of your songs sound similar, man. I mean, you got like an ample metal guitar, you got Easy Drummer 1, you have Formant, Morphomatic, Surf and Solo, and like Edirol orchestral strings and stuff, and that's like every single one of your songs. Not to say that your style's never shifted. Again, like I mentioned, the last 6 months, over then your stuff's become more metal oriented, you know, more guitar, as opposed to songs from before then, like Blackened by Ash, which doesn't even have any guitars in it. But still, like there's example number 1 of someone who I think doesn't really change up their style enough. But it's not just Moosie. Let's go with another M that also is not myself. Let's go with Meta. Meta is in much a similar boat, but in about as different a genre as I think you can reasonably get. He does like EDM, kind of progressive house type stuff. I don't know if that's how he describes it himself, but doing a little bit of research, that's what I found sounded similar. And, you know, of course, it sounds like NCS, because I do kind of think, yeah, a lot of it does sound like NCS sometimes. Sorry, Meta. I know you're probably sick of hearing it. But a lot of your songs sound really samey. They sound pretty good. They sound really good. But they just are like, oh, it's another Meta AXS custom. Not all of them. What's it called? Vulnerable? I like that one quite a bit, and I thought it sounded decently different. It had that kind of Meta AXS EDM vibe, but it wasn't quite another house song. You know, both of you, and for everyone here, I just think needs to experiment with different instruments and new genres and the things I mentioned at the start. So let's get to person number 3, who I think needs to just innovate. Court, if he still makes music, because I'm not sure if he does. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's not much to be said, Court. I mean, I'm sorry, man. Look, I know you look up to my music, but holy crap, dude. I think a lot of your songs start to sound pretty similar. For you, I mean, I definitely think, yeah, you need to get some new VSTs, like stat, and explore some new styles using those new VSTs. But compositionally wise, if there's one thing I need to point you need to learn how to make a proper chord progression. Because from what I remember, like I'm pulling from like Cosmomania 2 here, the whole song is just built off of one chord, and you shift which notes are playing, like D's Meal style. And same thing with the solos. You just like sit on one chord, and it doesn't have a lot of motion. So you can watch like 12 Tones Building Blocks videos to get an idea of better chord progressions. And yeah, so there's that. I could seriously keep going. All right, let's go with person number 4, Lean. Hi, Lean. Look, man, I think you're improving, most certainly. I've commented on your songs before, I especially remember, what was the one? Volcanic? Talking about how I think there were some things that were misses. I think you need, stylistically, you're definitely varied. That's not your issue. Your issue is with synth choices, and a lot of them carry between that songs. I'm pretty sure all your songs use the like Biohazard like bell instrument. And as well, I also remember hearing Starship X and not really liking your instrument choice. Good ideas, I just didn't think the synths were what could have been best. Again, my opinion. I guess as long as you like it and the people around you like it, I suppose it's okay. But if you want my 2 cents, haha, title again, there they are. Trying to just think of other composers on the fly. I need to vary up their sound more. I think a lot of people might say Cali. The problem is Cali just can't fucking push anything to release because he can't chart. So, I don't know, I know he's been experimenting like mad hell, including stuff outside of CH, like non-CH music, because he does that, by the way. So, I don't know, yeah, in that little ramble, there's a couple artists that I think need to change up their sounds more, but, you know, that list was initially like just 2 people. And I could like probably keep going, and that's the thing that kind of concerns me. I feel like I could keep going and be like, a lot of artists don't change up their sound enough. And you know, on one hand, I can point to myself as someone who has tried a bunch of genres, but one that's just kind of obvious cocksucking. I mean, I gotta do it, I'm sorry. I mean, if you look at Final Stop, I mean, we opened with like a metal, you know, like a symphonic electronic metal track. Circuitry track 2 is like some fucking like breakbeat type beat. You know, I'm not the best at genre names. Astral Projections, like some sort of chill shit. I don't really know. Like, I don't worry too much about exact genre names. I just want the sound different. But you know, even I know there are things I reuse. There are tropes that I follow, mostly with my chord progressions, and they all end the same way. I have been trying to remedy that recently because I noticed, although I do love the sound of it, the perfect cadence, the 5 chord going to the 1 chord, if you know what that means. I use it as a crutch a lot because I like that sound. It's very functional, but a lot of my songs, it gets kind of predictable. So I am trying, I'm not meaning I'm going to abandon it, but it means I'm trying to vary it more. I use my chord progressions, also with like timings, like 1 chord either lasts like a bar or like 2 bars or something. So, you know, I myself am not free from falling into habits that you need to break occasionally. Yeah, so shifting to a bit of a different part, you know, like this kind of thing's been on my mind for like a while. You know, like I think about these things. And part of me was wondering, does it matter? I mean, I know this sort of undermines my own discussion, it seems, but, you know, I thought about how many people I feel like have these habits they fall into, how many of their songs sounds with something. And I think, am I really wrong for wanting, am I really right, or am I really wrong for wanting it differently? You know, am I just being a crackhead by saying you should constantly try out new stuff? Am I not? Do I have the right idea, but am I going too extreme? I don't know. This is just a question I've had. Speaking over with some friends, they don't really think so. They think I'm on the right track and I got the right idea with people need to change their sounds. But, you know, if so many people fall into this habit and I don't, you know, am I the one, like, am I correct, so to speak? I mean, there's no right or wrong in art, right? But you get what I mean. I'm the minority in this example. The majority of people don't quite fall into, well, to be honest, the majority of people fall somewhere in between, constantly trying out new genres and making the same song over and over again. Of course, you have two extremes. Most people are going to fall in that middle. So anyways, cutting to the inside of my room now because I finished my walk, and that last little part was basically just me stuttering a whole bunch as I realized I didn't have much more to say, because I don't have a lot more to say. So yeah, a lot of people I think need to change up their sounds or just that. There's not really an or, is there? A lot of people I think need to experiment. Experimentation's super fun and dope, and even if you make something you don't like really, or you don't like after a week or two, you know, you can come back to it. I don't know, to me, there's just the experience and the what's a better word? The just experience and knowledge you gain out of trying things is reward in of itself for doing these things. Of course, this is just the way my brain works. Other people probably, most certainly don't think the same way.